Welcome to Big Blend Radio's California Sequoia Country show, home to Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks, Giant Sequoia National Monument and Sequoia National Forest, and the charming historic agricultural communities that make up Tulare County. Welcome, everyone. It is time to talk about early summer fun in California's beautiful Sequoia Country. And this is all in Tulare County. And what we always say is discover the sequoias. So go to discoverthesequoias.com because we're talking about Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks, Sequoia National Forest, Giant Sequoia National Monument, and then all the awesome communities that make up Tulare County. This is an area that is a hotbed of agriculture. So this is a wonderful season to visit because the fruit is ripe. It's time to go to farmers markets, farm stands, all that good stuff. And you know what? They love events out there. So we're going to be talking about that. For our first segment of this show today, we've got another segment coming. So stay tuned. We've got Suzanne Bianco back from Visit Visalia. Welcome back. How are you doing, Suzanne?
I'm doing great. Thank you. My favorite time of year is just the start of summer. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, everything's nice and green and you've got vegetables and fruits and it's ice cream weather, right?
Ice cream. Yes, absolutely. Ice cream weather. Fresh peaches are coming in soon.
Oh, you did not say fresh
Apricots.
peaches.
I know. All of that great fruit starting to ripen up. Looking forward to it.
How many farmers markets do you have in Visalia now?
Visalia has 3. So we have a Wednesday morning, a Thursday evening in downtown, and we have the Saturday year-round market.
Okay, so that's good.
Yeah.
Good grocery shopping, right?
Absolutely.
Is that how you look at it? It's like grocery shopping day. Go get it fresh from the farm.
Not to mention all the little farm stands that are throughout the county where you can get some fresh strawberries right now, or, whatever is ripe is right at the corner farm stand.
Wow. So is that what it's like living there? You're just on your way home, just stop off at the farm stand.
Absolutely.
That's healthy living. I like this. I like this. So everyone, we've got Maggie joining us, Maggie Salazar from Porterville, the city of Porterville, and she's going to tell us about some great events. But Porterville, I believe, has got a lot of citrus going on out there. So welcome, Maggie. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Lisa. And hello to everyone else.
Yay, yay. So what is going on? Do we have citrus this time of year, or is that mostly in winter?
So right now it's blooming. We also have a lot of strawberry stands. So yeah, we have a lot of fruit and vegetables out here too.
That is cool. That is cool. And we love Porterville. We talk about Porterville quite a bit on the show because you have such a history of music. Not only is it a great destination, very close to Sequoia National Forest, you've got Eagle Mountain Casino that people can go hang out and have some good entertainment, but the music history is pretty prevalent. Like that's nationwide history, right? What was come out of Porterville.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, a lot of music history through the schools, the band history, and I encourage people to go to the museum when you go to Porterville. But you also have a lot of beautiful parks, and that's really what the city maintains, right?
Yes, we have a lot of parks. We have several trailways that are new as well, and one that's coming up. So yeah, we have a lot of ways to just be outside.
Yeah, we want to be outside. Winter, we're so glad winter's over, right? And spring was a little chilly across the country, so we're ready for summer. That's the thing. And talking about parks, that's the other thing. Visalia, you're really, in Visalia, Suzanne, you're really close to Sequoia National Park, which goes through Three Rivers, Exeter, going into Sequoia National Park, which leads into Kings Canyon, and the Sequoia National Forest is part of it, right?
Yeah. We have an embarrassment of riches of outdoor activities to do. Well, it's true. I mean, there's just, from all the way in the south part of our county onward, it's all just to the east is all this great outdoor national parks, national forest areas that people can really get out and explore.
And you have them at parks too, like we were talking about for Porterville is a really good gateway to Sequoia National Forest and Giant Sequoia National Monument. You're mostly for Sequoia National Park, but you also have these beautiful parks that people can explore just within the city, especially if you have kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially Mooney Grove Park. That's a real county-wide park. Actually, it was California's first county park that has a really fun big lagoon, lots of outdoor art, play structures, plenty of grass for kids to run and play. Also, our museum is there, Mooney Grove Museum, with lots of great activities there with and Native American basket collections, outdoor outdoor buildings that have been moved onto the site, the antique farm equipment. That's a new addition to the museum. So lots to see. Of course, the end of the trail statue is there. So definitely worth a visit there.
So yeah, Maggie, I think Porterville's got some wonderful parks. We're talking about Mooney Grove Park out in Visalia, but Porterville has some great trails and, a lot of things that I think kids, families need to get out, right? So, what's going on for Porterville for people to get out of the hotel room and go and play?
I agree. We need to get out there more. They just finished a parkway here that's from Henderson all the way to Olive. It's like a 2-mile parkway. It's amazing. There's as we go along, there's like little equipment for children to use and exercise equipment. So it's great. We also have one over here adjacent by Main Street that they're still constructing. So parks are important. Get those kids out there, guys.
Now, what about pickleball? I hear that Porterville's getting ready for a pickleball movement.
Yes. So soon they're going to start construction on our community center, which there will be pickleball courts. And that's exciting for everyone since pickleball is a thing now.
Well, it is a thing. People travel for pickleball, So it's a good thing that Tulare County has a lot of hotel rooms. I mean, Porterville, you've got the casino people can stay at. Well, they will be down the road, right? They're working on the lodging.
Yeah,
but you have hotels.
Soon.
You have hotels, Visalia. You have a bunch of hotel rooms, right, for people. And so there's enough lodging for the pickleball frenzy is my point.
We held the California Senior Games here not too long ago in March, and pickleball was by far the most sought after event for people to compete in.
Yeah, pickleball. There you go. Now, speaking about something like that, I heard Miss California is coming to your
Yes. It's very exciting. We've had them now for a couple of years now. The annual Miss California competition will be held in June, the finals here at the Visalia Convention Center. These women have worked so hard. They are amazingly accomplished, and it's really an interesting program to watch. Whatever you thought of competitions like this, it's not what you think. It's a lot of fun. It's really amazing. These talented women with just great platforms of social work that they are interested in. So it's a really fun event to come witness.
So when is this happening for people to be able to see again?
Oh, it's in June. It's in June. Miss California. The finals are June 21st, Saturday, June 21st at the Visalia Convention Center. Okay.
So June, when we get into the different events for June, we've got to look at like Juneteenth is an important event that we should talk about. In Visalia, I know that the whole area is aware of that, but then Allensworth is a state park that I really want to touch on. It's I think a hidden gem of Tulare County.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so they have their celebration coming up that people can visit.
Yeah. The Colonel Allensworth State Park is a really great state park that has a lot of the original houses from that community that was built by Colonel Allensworth. It's unfortunate that it didn't continue on, but the story does. So it's a really great opportunity for people to learn a bit more about that and see what that town looked like. It was just really a fascinating story.
That's very cool. Okay, so and you've got to go, everyone. It is you have to go to experience it. It's like a whole town. And you can see the barbershop, you can see where people live, the bank, everything. And there's a wonderful wildlife refuge nearby as well. So everyone, I just want to give out some websites. So visit Visalia.com if you're going to go to Visalia. And then for Porterville, go to chooseporterville.com. Of course, discoverthesequoias.com is always the main website. And we have that linked in the episode notes as always. But let's move on to movie nights, because we were talking about parks and pickleball and trails and all that good stuff. But apparently movie nights are back, and we like movie nights. We like to be out in the great outdoors and see a big screen, right? That's what's happening, Maggie, in Porterville?
Yes, the city of Porterville with the Parks and Leisure. We host family entertainment, which is free, summer nights, movie nights. Sometimes it's at different parks here. Sometimes it's at the pool. So you'd have to go to our website and just check out what movie's playing and where, just to participate in that. It's lots of fun.
Is it always weekends or is it throughout the week?
Usually it's Fridays and Saturdays.
Okay. So when travelers are coming in and they've got, especially for kids. Yeah. That's a
Fun.
Yeah, fun time. Get outside, be outside in the fresh air. That's a good thing. Okay. Okay. So I hear that there's a lot of Wild West activity for when we talk about evening entertainment. So what's going on, Suzanne? Are we going to Three Rivers and going giddy up?
We are. So, Riata Ranch International in Three Rivers is hosting their Wild West dinner and show 3 weekends in throughout the summer. I think it's the third weekend of the month, and they'll have food trucks available for people to buy their dinner, and they can just enjoy it anywhere on the ranch there. And when the show begins, they'll be entertained with the women who are studying or learning about, trick riding, I guess is how you would describe it. They do
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
sorts of
Trick riding.
amazing things on their horses. They have a
Yeah.
special saddle that's really entertaining. They do roping as well. It's really just a super show, and it's a great way to see the Wild West roots of California. I mean, even their head of the organization has done the roping where she has like 3 people standing, and she can include them all inside the rope. She can get the rope that large. Does that make sense what I
Wow.
just said? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
fun. Yeah, yeah. So very fun, and it's great. It's very reasonably priced, and it's a great thing to get out there on the weekends. It's a Friday and a Saturday show. So families can come on down and like you said, giddy up.
Yeah, giddy up. And so 3 months over this summer. And then also, I think what's so cool about this is it's women doing it because back in the day, we were restrained to, at first, we weren't allowed to ride horses.
Yeah.
Then now we're allowed to be side saddle. And then, eventually it was like, oh, yeah, watch this. We can do it. I mean, we had some cowgirls out there. We had, some women that did the Wild West. Come on, there's a lot of women of the Wild West, but it just shows the progression, right?
And Riata also offers, just all the time, you can take a trail ride with them. So if you really want to be in the foothills just outside the national park on the back of horse, it's a really amazing ride to take.
Awesome. So I want to go over to Maggie because I believe that you also, we were talking about Juneteenth and we have, the agriculture. We've got, okay, Miss California, okay, the Wild West, but 4th of July is coming up and apparently Porterville wants to kick it off early. They're like, let's party, y'all. So yeah.
Yes, we have a Flag Day ceremony, June 15th. It's a big family event as well. And then for June 28th, we have the Freedom Fest where the community gets together at the sports complex and they just shoot fireworks. And it's just an amazing event for everyone.
Well, everybody likes fireworks, right? So that's a good thing. So lots of fun happening in Porterville, in Visalia, and of course the parks. We're going to get to that next. And everyone, again, the links are in the episode notes. Tulare County is an awesome destination. And so there's other communities like Exeter, Tulare. We're going to hear about that in a little bit as well. Wood Lake Botanical Garden is a definite place you want to go. So many different places to experience in early summer and year round, quite frankly, in California, Sequoia Country. So go to discoverthesequoias.com and stay tuned because we have more guests joining us. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you, Maggie. It's been a pleasure having you both on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks
It's
for
always
having
a
us.
pleasure.
Okay, so now we are on part 2 of our Sequoia tourism show, and it is all about Discover the Sequoias, right? So we've got Holly Stride here back from Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks. Holly, I know you're getting excited to tell us about what to do in the summer in the parks, right? It's there now, isn't it? I heard you had snow though.
It's definitely kicked off for the summer.
Cool, cool. And we're going to talk about Crystal Cave because it's open.
That's
So
right.
that's exciting. But we also have Julia Dix, who's joining us only for a few minutes, but she's got a lot to say because apparently, Tulare, the town of Tulare or the city of Tulare is like Dairyland, really. So when we have ice cream or cheese, which is my thing, bring the cheese. I like the ice cream too. Milk, all of that good stuff. Butter, like real butter, comes from Tulare. So Julia is from the Tulare Chamber of Commerce. So welcome back, Julia. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. I'm making all this reference to dairy because what's going on in June?
Well, June is National Dairy Month, and we are super excited about it. For the Chamber, we have our Salute to Dairy, which is a big event that honors the dairy industry on June 20th. And you can see the dairy in my background is actually the dairy belonging to our dairy family of the year, George Etzma and his dairy. And yeah, Tulare County is just the biggest dairy producer in California. We produce 75% of the dairy here. And we have Rosa Brothers that has amazing milk that they make right here in Tulare, and ice cream. I was just there the other day and had their nutty banana and chocolate chip ice cream, which was amazing. They also have butter pecan, chocolate, vanilla, rocky road. I mean, anything and everything.
Peppermint
Yes.
chocolate. It's one of my favorites there. That is good. I just got to give a shout out to it. I'm just saying.
It's amazing. And they donate also to our Salute to Dairy event, their ice cream and their milk. And so it's we have a great relationship.
One thing I wanted to touch on, about Tulare County is that it's a lot of in the towns. When you go to Sequoias in Kings Canyon or the Sequoia National Forest and Giant Sequoia National Monument, you can go also and explore these communities. And most of the businesses, including the agriculture, which are so well known for, they're small businesses, right? These are all mom and pops and family farms.
Yes. And, and that's what's amazing about it. I was actually talking the other day with our Dairy Family of the Year, and, his family had been in dairy for 200 years, and
Wow.
they immigrated from Holland right after World War II, and his father started his own dairy, and then he, carried that on. And, every dairy here is, family owned and has a long, deep, rich history of passing it down, family to family, generation to generation.
And you can go to farm stands too and get fresh peaches and fruits like we were talking about before you got on here on our previous segment with Suzanne and also Maggie from Porterville. But the other thing too that I wanted to bring up is that Tulare's got a brand new amphitheater, right? And so a lot of music is happening this summer.
We do. And in fact, we just had the official grand opening of it over Memorial Day weekend. And now we are, entering into the summer months, and we have a full docket of concerts, if you will. So I know we have Lone Star coming out on June 13th.
Wow.
We have Clint Black, who's kind of a big draw, right? Coming out
Yeah.
June 28th. Toad the Wet Sprocket, which really
Oh,
reminds me of my teenage years.
Yeah. I was just thinking for me too. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember them. Yeah.
But they have so many different, things for everyone. So they have Arriba, the Latin festival, featuring Regulo Caro and Noel Torres on August 30th. Starship with a flock of seagulls, like let's go 80s, on September 20th. And then also Jokin plus George Lynch and the Mob on September 27th. So it's going to be lots of things to attend and lots of music, and it's going to be great. Every time they're going to have vendors, food vendors. They have a full bar that they have out there in a covered gazebo area. Plus there's the playground for the kids.
So the kids can play while Jefferson Airplane, Starship, sorry, different one. Sorry, I'm going back to the 70s now. But Jefferson Starship gets there and yeah, they can build the city on rock and roll, right? There you go. All right, cool. Well, thank you so much for giving us some insight on what's happening in Tulare December. Everyone, TulareChamber.org is the website. Again, as always, discoverthesequoias.com will connect you to all the communities of Tulare. So thank you so much. I know you're busy in and out today, but thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Lisa. Bye, Holly.
All right. So now we're going to go to the park. So we got our ice cream. Normally, Holly, we do our ice cream after the park. But I was going to speak of ice cream too. When you talk about the region being dairy, Reimers is right outside like the entrance of Sequoia National Park. That's a kind of a tradition, I would say.
Yeah, a real special treat for our visitors on the way out. That's for sure.
Yeah. Now, don't you have stores in the park that people can get things to?
We do. Yeah, we have a couple of partners in the park that sell some food, some quick bites on the grill. So at Lodgepole, there's a market and grill. There's also some food in Grant Grove and Cedar Grove as well.
I bring this up because sometimes some of us get so excited to get into the park that we just get there like for sunrise, get in, and then we're like, dude, we didn't pack any food. And I have done that and then gotten out of the park. And then next thing you know, and if it was a busy weekend, I remember being in Mount Rainier over Labor Day weekend and just, we're like, we got to get in there. We got in there and we had started out of Portland like at 3 or 4 in the morning to get there. Yeah. And we went in and then we realized, what are we doing? We didn't bring food. We just got so excited, like silly excited.
Yes.
And then we had to go.
All of us.
We got out of the park and we couldn't get, like, it was so busy. But then, good thing is we found another way in and we went through a whole Lake Mowich and everything, which was So we went on a little adventure, and then we did get back in again the next day. But I think that's important stuff to know. Like if you just find yourself like, oh,
Yeah, that's a great reminder, Lisa, because you really need to stay fueled. You're burning so many calories when you're out hiking in the park, and especially if it's hot and you've been in the sun all day. Like it's really important to drink a lot of water and eat some salty snacks. And the Lodgepole Market is kind of centrally located in the park, and they are stocked with a ton of snacks. That's a great place to stop.
and I think we got a sandwich there. I think we did too. There was like a beautiful picnic site out there that we went. I mean, I'm talking like
Oh, yeah.
over a decade ago. I remember this going and getting this and sitting there, and the birds were coming out and going, "Come on, leave me crumbs." And I'm like, the park ranger said no.
That's right. Yeah. And there's also like, even if you like pick up some lunch or pack your lunch, whatever you do to have food, we've got so many lovely picnic areas. Actually, I just had lunch in Halstead Meadow picnic area the other day. It's just gorgeous. There's plenty of places you and the family sit down and like take your time. That's why we're in nature.
And the animals do come out while you're just chilled out. That's the thing. They know they're waiting because some other person gave them treats that you're not supposed to. Yeah, we've been
Don't feed the animals. Yeah.
Don't do it, because honestly, it does. It's not a good thing for them.
It is not a good thing. It habituates the animals to food that they shouldn't be digesting. Then, especially with bears is probably one of the biggest concerns, because if bears start to get habituated to eating food from visitors, campers, then they'll start becoming aggressive for food. And then that's when we've had to put bears down in the past, because they've become so aggressive trying to take people's packs. And that really started with human impacts in the first place. So normally they're out there doing their gathering, eating their own food, happy as can be. But once they get a peanut butter jelly, it's all downhill.
We understand that, though, the peanut butter jelly.
We do understand that. Yeah.
There's nothing like a good peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
There is nothing. It is one of the best. I eat peanut butter and jellies on the trail all the time.
I eat them. Yeah, all the time. It's like it is right there on pizza level. I'm saying.
Yeah, it's the perfect hiking sandwich, I would say.
Well, no, because you can take leftover pizza on the hiking trail. I'm saying too. I know you're giving me the look of like, really, but it's true. You can.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, that's because I'll eat pizza for breakfast, lunch, dinner, night snacks, all snack. Pizza can live. Pizza. Yeah, I just did a road trip with leftover pizza, and I was like, is it still cool in the cool? It's still cold. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a pizza deck at Wuxachi too, so you could get pizza in the park and take it on the trail. Yeah.
We haven't talked about food on the trail. Like, this is good. This is good.
Yeah, we should talk about it, because bring your food with you. Just keep it, don't be leaving crumbs on the way, but sit on a nice rock. I love eating lunch on a rock. Sometimes when I'm hiking in the park and I'm starting to get a little hungry, I'll just keep my eyes open for the perfect rock to sit on, or log. And then there's nothing better than eating your lunch on the trail, in the park, off the trail, not like sitting on the trail, but
you could be eating, watching a waterfall.
You can eat and watch a waterfall. It's one of the most magical things you can do. And then just bring a little baggie to like pack everything out, pack everything out. I don't know. If you're worried about like your hands being dirty, bring some hand sanitizer. It's so easy.
Yeah, really. You can get hand wipes or whatever, whatever you need to do. Yeah. I mean, come on. We're not camping. Well, when you go out in the wilderness, that's different. Like,
yeah, that's a whole different situation. Yeah. Which is, a lot of people, I'm a big backpacker. I love going out for days in the wilderness. And some people are hesitant to do that because they've never used like a bear can before. But if that's something that listeners are interested in, it's not that hard to do. And we actually have bear cans at our visitor centers that you can rent. So if you don't have all the equipment to backpack, definitely get the basics. But if it's like a bear can or something is holding you back from living your best life out in the backcountry, just rent one from the visitor center.
Yeah, exactly. And then get going and have fun.
Yeah.
And really, the wildlife doesn't really want to have an encounter with you that much. You know what I mean?
Right.
They'll watch you. But if you're
The
oh, yes, they do. We know they do. They're the cutest,
the
right?
marmots want to have an encounter.
They're so cool.
But
They
everyone
are.
else
But
doesn't.
we, and chipmunks, squirrels, will watch and try to get,
Sure.
Yeah. But they're just like, come on, leave me some crumbs. But what
Yeah.
about hiking? So everything's open now, right?
Yes. So,
We're all open now.
yeah, everything is open. It's such a good time to be in the park because you can choose your own adventure. All of the areas of our park, one of the best things about our park is the incredible diversity and the range of ecosystems that we have. And so people can really choose just different areas in the park to visit. So a lot of people go to the Giant Forest. That's an amazing place to go visit to see the giant sequoias. But we also have places like Cedar Grove, which are like really remote and huge granite cliffs and rivers flowing. So like that's another great place for people to explore that maybe want to see some waterfalls and things like that. And then we also have Mineral King, which is this whole, the valley floor. I think it's pretty close to 8,000 feet. So you drive up a pretty rugged road. There is road construction this year on Mineral King Road. So that's something to plan ahead and look at the schedule, because there's going to be closures and delays that people should be aware of. But it's just like this pristine, untouched, beautiful alpine area for people to visit as well.
That's awesome. That's awesome. It is, like I always say, the Cedar Grove area reminds me of Yosemite. A
lot of people say that, because it's the same geology. It's the same.
It's just around the corner, right?
It's just
over
the
the rock.
Yeah, and those granite mountains and the some of the dome shapes that we see, we're all on a same batholith. That's a cool word that I've learned.
Say that again.
So a batholith is just a huge section of rock, in this case granite. I'm not sure if that's true for all batholiths, if they're all granite, but ours that connects to Yosemite is dome shaped like that because it was created underground in the heat, and so that like kind of dome shaping happened
like
underground.
A bread.
And then when the tectonic plates subducted and it raised up, that's how we see now like Morro Rock, some of the areas down in Cedar Grove, and then the areas in Yosemite. They're all part of that same structure.
It's bread. It got hot and it rose, like, the yeast and the rock said, here it is, I'm out. And then things shifted and it was like, all right, I thought I was going to be this shape and now you made me funky and you can climb me now. Sorry, I just have my own way of remembering things, which, because when you get big words to me, I'm going, I got to break this down into something
That's right.
get.
Yeah.
Get the Junior Ranger book.
Get the Junior Ranger book, honestly.
Honestly, it's good for adults. Okay, but this is so cool about the hiking part. But the weirdest thing about these rocks, like these giant, say it again.
Oh, the batholiths.
The batholiths. Okay, got to go to Sequoia and Kings Canyon and see the giant sequoia trees and the batholiths. It sounds like we should do a movie on it. We need one of those voices, the batholiths. But they have trees growing out of these rocks, plants growing out of them, and that trips me up. Like, how are you doing this, y'all? Like, it's
incredible.
Think that's insane. They're growing.
Is. Yeah, we saw a really good example because another exciting thing that's open is Crystal Cave. And I recently went down the Crystal Cave Trail and we saw a huge tree growing out of the rock. I couldn't even see where the roots were in. It looked like it was just
in the cave
on top of the rock. No, on the trail, on the trail down to the cave.
Yeah. Isn't that trail cool?
The trail is beautiful. That's another great place to see some cool waterfalls.
And lilies, and they are lilies. They are Gloriosa lilies, which are flame lilies. And last time our conversation, we talked about these lilies, and I happened to go to Florida, and these lilies were actually right there. And I went, no way, dude. And I compared their Gloriosa lilies, which have flame lilies, tiger lilies. They're all relative, like they're all related. So it's not going to be, they're all different, like they're all related, and they're gorgeous people, and you can see them just hang out going, this is my waterfall, look at me, I'm hanging out, I'm pretty, I'm at a waterfall. And then they'll be just a little bit out like in Round Meadow, and they'll be a little different, more yellow, not like the tiger, so they're all connected in the same family, but they change according to batholith and topography, right? So it's really cool.
Yeah, very cool. And I did think of you because I saw there's an interpretive sign about the lilies on the
Okay, so I'm going to be wrong now, right?
Oh, no, it said lilies on there. I don't remember what kind.
Oh,
but
wow.
Yeah.
So they're related. It's like daylilies in the Smoky Mountains, in the Blue Ridge Mountains, Smoky Mountain region on Blue Ridge Parkway. Yeah. You'll see them. They're Turkish caps, and they come out at a certain time, like July. You can go out and we go Turkish cap hunting when we're out there at that time of year. No, we're not taking them. You look at them. And so these are lilies. Like if you look at a daylily and the leaves, the petals bend backwards and form a little hat. Isn't that cute?
Well, I also saw, if you can see in my background, I chose it especially
dogwoods
for today. The dogwoods, because the dogwoods are blooming, and now is the time to see them. They don't last very long, so I think there's like a short time, right, to see the dogwoods. And so they're up in Lodgepole right now in the Giant Forest.
The thing too about like the fact that the parks are both in all these different elevations, Kings Canyon, right? But you can see wildflowers throughout the summer depending on where you're going, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's all different wildflowers. It's kind of cool. because they start like the wildflowers, they like start in the foothills and they kind of go up over time, you know? So even though like the poppies have long been gone since the foothills, I was able to see some while I was on the drive down to Crystal Cave. There was still some
Oh.
poppies, which is kind
No
of
way.
cool. Yeah.
That's because you guys had snow and stuff. So it's kind of been an elongated spring for everyone.
Yeah, it's been really nice. We've been very happy to have the precipitation that we've had.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. So hiking is on shuttles. So let's talk about shuttle
Yep.
service for people because we want to minimize our footprint. And
That's right.
also when we do that, it actually makes it easier for us as travelers.
Yes, it is so much easier to just find a spot, park, and then hop on the shuttle. They stop at so many great locations. Now, this is mostly in like the Lodgepole Giant Forest area, but there are so many places to stop and get picked up. So there's like 4 different routes. The routes are posted at all of the shuttle stops, and they're also in the newspaper that you get when you come into
Okay.
the park. And you can look at the shuttle stops online as well. I know that people really take advantage of it, and it's just great. Something that I do that I tell people about because I love seeing General Sherman and Tharp's Log all at the same time. I'll hike General Sherman on Congress Trail all the way down to Tharp's Log and then hop on the shuttle and go back up.
Yeah, that's cool though. I didn't know we could
Yeah.
do that. I didn't do that.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's very nice because that trail, you know, you can get tired or whatever, especially if, you know,
Then you find your rock and eat your lunch.
you find your rock, you find a sequoia to eat your lunch by. It's just a lovely time.
And you just chill. You know,
You
that's the
just
thing.
chill.
I feel like we were talking about this lately on some shows about just sometimes, and the parks are for everyone and what they want to do, right? So if you want to, you know, go hiking and or jogging, you can. But I just kind of want to encourage people to slow down a bit because we're so busy in life. And just honestly, I know it's hard to. So maybe you'll start jogging and then go, okay, maybe I need to calm down.
Yeah.
Just kind of try it. I
I
think
think
our
that
souls
nature
need
really
it.
asks us to calm down. Like that's the great thing about it.
I
Do, right?
Mhm.
That's what I was thinking when I was in Crystal Cave not that long ago. And I was thinking about how, you know, this cave was formed over 1 million years, right? It's over 1 million years old. And so all of the stalactites, stalagmites, you know, like they're dripping water, they're dripping. Now I'm feeling really good about it. I'm so excited to learn. I hope other people are excited to learn about the park when they come out too and become junior rangers. I feel like
Big
go learn
geeks.
about it. You know, and our park partners, Sequoia Parks Conservancy, they do such a great job of leading these tours and making really relatable associations to the science. That's how I'm able to remember this. The tour guide we had at Crystal Cave, he was like, yeah, stalactites because they're tight to the ceiling, and stalagmites because they might grow up. So those are the ones that go up, and the tights are the ones. Awesome thing going in the cave. I love the cave. I love everything about the parks, but the cave is kind of a new experience for me. So I had a really great time, and I would definitely recommend it.
Nice.
Yes. What's the difference? Yeah. It is cool. And I also think it's really cool that this is a really good example of natural resource protection, right? Because we do have the guided tours. So you can't just go in on your own. You have to go on a guided tour, but it's really to protect the natural resource, because I also learned that like the oils on our fingers can damage the cave, and it's still a living cave. So that's why we have to protect it so much, is because it's still living, which means that it's still growing. And so since we're not putting our oils and we're not bringing food into there, we're not introducing things to the cave that might disrupt the ecosystem. Yeah, that's right. So we do the little foot wash before we go in to try to prevent that white nose syndrome from coming into the cave for the bats.
So, you know, summer sounds fun. You got hiking, you got waterfalls, we got wildflowers, we got caves with stalagmites, stalactites. We got, what is the big rock thing called again?
The batholith.
Batholiths. So, like, I encourage everyone to go exploring for batholiths. Morrow Rock is open for people to hike.
Yeah.
Picnics.
And
shuttles to get us around in the park.
There's also a shuttle stop to get you up into the park as well, which is really nice if you don't want to have to drive the General's Highway. It can be a very stressful situation for some people, right? There's a lot of tight turns. It's very curvy. It's kind of narrow. So that's a nice option if you want to just enjoy the view and relax on the way up.
Yeah, and eat your breakfast sandwich.
Eat your breakfast sandwich.
Then go hike and eat the other one, pizza.
That's right. Bring your pizza for lunch.
Your breakfast pizza. And then you have your lunch pizza, and then you can have your dinner pizza on the way back out and get ice cream on the way out too. See, this is perfect. And before you go, camping reservation, is everything still going? Because we're all getting confused out there in national park land of who's open and who's not.
Campgrounds are reservation only. So the most up-to-date information is always on recreation.gov. And so people can just, once you get into recreation.gov, you can just search for Sequoia and Kings Canyon. There's a little camping and lodging box. If you click on that, you'll see all the campgrounds that are accepting reservations. And I will say it is confusing. They're all individually managed. So some campgrounds are on like a 4-month rotating basis. So you can make reservations up to 4 months in advance. Now, if a campground has like a shorter season, it might only be like 1 month in advance, something like that. I don't know all the details because we have 14 campgrounds or something. It's a lot. And that's not something that I manage, but the best way to find out if something is open and available is to go there, and it'll say whether it's available
open or not,
reserved, not open.
Yeah, because everybody's got different places they want to go. And for wilderness permits, are we too late to get that?
Oh, not at all. Okay. Wilderness permits are actually a little bit easier because you can, and we encourage you to try to make your reservation online, but they also hold a certain amount of wilderness permits for walk up on the day of or the day before. So you can get them online in advance, which, if you're traveling from somewhere far away, that's probably the best option. But if you just want to try your luck, you can come in the day before or the day of and try to get a permit as well.
It's like standby for an airplane.
That's right.
That's it. Yeah. And if not, you just go for a hike, You don't get it.
Just go for a hike.
And then get ice cream and pizza. Yeah. All right. Perfect. Can you tell I'm hungry? So everyone, nps.gov/SEKI is the website to go directly for the parks. Always say to go there before you go to the park, even the day of, the morning of, because if there's any road issues or any changes, it is up on the website. So check that out before you go. And of course, go to discoverthesequoias.com. It's a great place to go and learn more about the entire region so you can plan your trip, go to the forest, go to the parks, go to the different communities, and of course get ice cream since June is dairy month, so move. Thank you for joining us here on Big Blend Radio's California Sequoia Country show. New episodes air every first Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. You can keep up with the show at bigblendradio.com, but also plan your Tulare County escape. Go to discoverthesequoias.com.